So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And welcome everyone. 14. Okay, lost this. All right. So if you're sitting and facing the computer, have your feet flat on the floor, but you can also be sitting in a cross-legged position if you wish. And so align your shoulders with the hips as best you can, and just be sitting right on top of your sits bones, and maybe also your ears aligned with your shoulders, and just lengthen your spine. Imagine it's a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And then just bring your attention to the crown of the head and release any tension there. Maybe you notice some sensations. Relax the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, the temples, and the back of the head, and relax the neck and the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly, and all of your limbs. And then just bring your mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then be aware of any sounds in your environment, so trying not to follow with the mind. And just allow the sounds to be there. And maybe notice while we're here, perhaps your consciousness going out, to be aware of the sounds versus having them in the periphery of your soundscape. And then bringing your concentration, your focus back to the breath. And now be aware of what's going on in your mind. What thoughts, feelings are arising. Maybe there's a conversation you've had half an hour ago. Maybe you're thinking about bed. Maybe you're thinking about what you had for dinner. Maybe a conversation. So just allow those thoughts to arise, to abide, and then just to flow. And take a step back, watch them, be objective. So don't judge what's going on in the mind. Just be aware of what's there. And then just bring to mind some people of our life, our loved ones. These people we have these kind of deep, profound relationships with. They could be a parent, they could be a sibling, could be your best friend, could be your spouse or child. And then there's our strangers. These are the people we come across on the freeway, at the store. And then there's the ones we don't get on with so well. And the thing to remember is, due to this thing called impermanence, these relationships can change place at any time due to our karma. And then think they're all equal, these people. They all have this wish to be happy, this wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for this enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this purification meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we start by thinking that there is no negativity we can't purify. Nothing that we've done that's so awful that we can't remedy it somehow. So we create negativity with the mind, so equally we can create positivity as well. We start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience some kind of suffering in the future. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So we think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor. That's not a doctor, Buddha. Buddha, there we are. Buddha Vajrasattva. The tanka's coming with me when I move shortly. So here we have it's actually slightly damaged. You can see there's a little bit of red coming through, but I'm going to get an artist to fix that. Anyway, so imagine this is just an image just to give you an idea. You don't have to remember all the detail. And then we're not looking for Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us, and we're purifying ourselves by relying upon the methods. We can think of it almost as medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. So if you have a lot of trouble with detail or remembering or how to visualize, you can just imagine a ball of white light with this energy of compassion and kindness. And you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher, if you have a Buddhist teacher, or manifesting in this form for your benefit. It just makes it a little bit more personal for us. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and has a beautiful, radiant face. And his eyes are long and shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right is holding a bell representing, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility.
You're still muted, Venerable Katie.
Yes, I think we might have lost our connection with her.
Okay, now I'm here. Am I back?
Now
I'm
you're
so
back.
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll explain what happened later. Okay. I don't know how much you lost. I think we have this section on compassion, which is part of reliance. So the first part of reliance was refuge. Second part is developing compassion. And why it's reliance is because we're relying upon other beings to develop compassion. So the beings we have harmed and those who harmed us. So think of someone you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then all beings you've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think of the beings who've harmed you, and because of the harm they've caused you, they're going to end up suffering in the future. So have particularly developed compassion for them because they're going to need it. So then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam shiyam kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa tatagata Vajramami mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about other people behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva aham pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum He. So I feel so happy that your speech now is completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And this includes yourself, what you write in emails, what you put on social media. All of this is representative of your speech. And next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light this time from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same. You walk into a pitch black room, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So just imagine the moment the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness, anger, depression, bitterness, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hom Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Duda Mebawal Sitokaya Mebawal Sipokaya Mebawal Anarakta Mebawal Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is a purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine this time Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hom Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. So just imagine even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one, is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. So without this determination, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. We'll just keep repeating the same habits. So it becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So you just have to kind of have a wish to, refrain from harming. So even that is just, even having a wish to not harm is a really great first step. And then we can get to a little bit of detail. But first of all, rejoice in your efforts, your attempts. And then think of something you'd like to work on. Maybe it's something you do with your speech. Maybe you gossip. Maybe you accidentally pick up a pencil and walk off with it. Maybe you just, Lama Zopa Rinpoche's definition of stealing is taking the ungiven. And we pick up stuff all the time. It's not kind of stealing, but it's Rinpoche's definition of stealing, taking the ungiven. So even if you do accidentally through carelessness, accidentally kill something, like tread on an ant, or out of ignorance, something else. So just think about something you'd like to work on, something, just keep it simple, not a big thing, just a simple thing. Maybe you engage in negative self-talk and think, okay, so I'm going to work on this for maybe 30 seconds or a minute at lunchtime. I'm going to sit and meditate and I'm going to think about this. It's all about healing ourselves. This is, Yangtze Rinpoche talked about this Vajrasattva practice as it's really a healing practice for ourselves. It's not a practice where we beat ourselves over the head and, oh God, I'm so bad, I've done all these wrong things. It's like taking responsibility. Okay, I did a bunch of stuff. I need to heal myself from this. So this, Vajrasattva, imagine, delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And then think, Rinpoche used to talk about meditating on emptiness at the end of a practice. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. I do apologize for the internet. So what happened in the process of Judith moving, they called Xfinity, and somehow the bill has been paid for twice and the internet's been cut off. So we're doubly out of pocket here. So anyway, so then I was using our neighbor's internet, which can't somehow cut out. And then I went back to we have two internets here, and I went back to the other internet. So I do apologize, and I will be on this internet tomorrow morning so we don't black out. Okay. So Sonam, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll come again. I really enjoyed having you. A face from Nepal who knows Kopan. So here we go. Welcome.
you.
Are you living in the US?